Welcome back, everyone. Commiserations to Arsenal tonight. Well done, V, for what your boys did. Igal, talk to me, bro. Talk to me.
Mikel Arteta cost us, man. He can't be doing simple mistakes. I said it beforehand. You cannot go into this game without making some sort of change, be it tactical or personnel. And I didn't really see that from the jump. The team, honestly, I wanted to believe from the beginning, but the fact that he didn't make any real changes from what I've seen in the last 3 games running made me worried from the jump. And I feel like that's where you see poor performances, Mikel. You have to make changes. Pep Guardiola was forced into a change with Kyle Walker. We should have been forced into a change based on our performances over the last couple of days. And I'm just going to say he's protecting poor performances too much. Thomas Partey had a poor performance today. Rob Holding had a stinker today. Ramsdale saved us, but he should have done better in the first goal. You look at Odegaard misplacing the ball for the third goal, and Gabriel was being pulled all over the place. I felt like today, I can't pinpoint one individual. I have to look at the man at the top and I have to say, Mikel, you should do better. We've been doing great this whole season. I love the guy. He's been doing great this whole season. To get the team to where it is great. But the reality is, it's on him. He cost us. We cost us for having too much protecting these guys who've been costing us over the last couple of days. And when you are a manager, these are the days where you are making your money. This is where you separate yourself from the others. And today he didn't do that. His decision making to keep this phased with the same team or just bring back Xhaka and that's it cost us. And I think the fact that Jorginho came on and actually we looked a little bit better. Maybe he should have played him sooner. Maybe he should have started with him instead of Xhaka. I don't know. Maybe this is revisionary history, but I personally feel like that's one. Number two, Kevin De Bruyne masterclass today. You got to give it up to Manchester City. They're the better team. They absolutely destroyed us from minute one to the end, and it looked like they outclassed us from minute 1 to the end. And the only other thing I can say is it's hilarious that the consolation goal comes from Rob Holding. The guy basically helped them score all the goals, and then he helped us score 1 goal. Personally, I'm not going to scapegoat any individual player. Today is at the top. It's on the manager, and anybody who's coming on here cooking me, go ahead. The team let us down. We deserve this at this point. We got ourselves gassed up, but deservedly so. We should have been confident at certain points in the season. It doesn't take away from how good of a season so far we've had. But guess what? If you don't finish with nothing at the end of the day, you guys can laugh and joke about it. It's fair.
I get where you're coming from. Brandon, you called out this team for having a soft underbelly not long ago. Igal's called out the manager for getting the formation wrong tonight. Do you agree with Igal on that? Sorry, the team wrong tonight. Do you agree with that?
100%. 100%, Hal. I sent you a message before the game, and I said, looking at the lineups, looking at the way that Mikel Arteta is wanting to play, like it's just arrogance. It's pure arrogance. Who's going to go to the Etihad and try and play proper football? Do you know what I mean? Like, we always knew that Manchester City were going to have the majority of the possession. They're at home. So you've got to do something to adapt. You've got to either, like Agal said, adapt with your tactical or adapt in terms of personnel. And based off the last, couple of games, there were players that could have come out of the team tonight, and there were players that could have come in and had a start. For me, I think if we go into the Etihad, you've got to respect Manchester City and allow them to have the ball and try and play counter-attacking football and see what happens from there. From the get-go, I just knew they would have control of that midfield. And we looked out of our depth. Massively, massively out of our depth. So I agree, it is on Mikel Arteta. However, no heart, no passion, no fight from any of the players. They went out there like scared little girls, right? You're in a title race. Nobody else, the players, like we've handed it to them over the last couple of games. So the least I expect from these players is to go to the Etihad and show a bit of heart, show a bit of fight, show a bit of passion. But we gave the ball away too much. We allowed them into the game. We made it so easy for Manchester City. They didn't even get out of second gear, right? And that's the most annoying thing for me. Because if you go and drop points against Liverpool after being 2 goals up, you go and drop points against West Ham after being 2 goals up, and you drop an absolute stinker at home against Southampton, and now your only opportunity to stay in this title race is to beat Manchester City, or to at least try and beat Manchester City, then that's down to, you know, the players for not showing the heart and the fight, the passion in the previous games, which we should have won. So you decided to make it the hard way. So show me something. But instead, they went out there like a bunch of pussies again. And it's frustrating. It really is so frustrating because we've been top of the league all season. Everybody's been, you know, getting on about Manchester City who are dropping points. They don't look like the same team. We always knew that Manchester City would come back towards the back end of the season. And we had to be not perfect, but almost perfect. And you look at the games that we drop points in, it's just ridiculous. It really is. It's a soft underbelly, like you say. And we need to improve in many areas next season. Not just in terms of the players, but Mikel Arteta has got to start learning his lessons in terms of his substitutions and his tactical. Because I'll tell you now, the guy is so naive. And I've called him out on numerous occasions this season for being naive. Like bringing on substitutions when you're 3-0 down. Like, surely I can recognise it. I'm sure you guys can recognise it as well. 20 minutes into that game, I knew we had no control of the midfield. We was giving away too much possession. He needed to change something from there. From the moment we go 1-0 down, change it. But instead, he's fucking about on the touchline. Oh, dear, oh, what? And then 3-0 down. Oh, I'll bring on Trossard now. I'll bring on Jorginho now. Mate, that makes sense.
Mate, I hear the frustration. Gunnar Souls, you were very confident this afternoon of picking up a result tonight. I believe I've been told that. I didn't actually read the message myself. 4 games running now, your players just haven't turned up. What's gone horribly wrong in this last 4 games, kind of accumulating in tonight's destruction by City?
Sorry, Brandon. I'm going to have to use your words. Bunch of pussios. Absolutely disgusting, disgraceful performance from them. You lost this title. Southampton, Anfield, you're 2-0 up. Southampton, are you taking the fucking piss? If I hear a fucking apology on social media, I swear to God, I want that player sold. I don't want to hear no apologies. Get your fucking asses off social media. You better lock yourself in the training ground 24/7. You are rectifying this fucking goddamn shit show. Heartbroken. I am devastated. Is this what we backed? Is this what the fans deserve? After backing them all season, we've taken the brunt of the banter. We've taken it off everyone. Oh, the league isn't won in January. We backed them. And this is how they want to repay us. This is how they want to show us. This is us doing it for the fans. Zinchenko coming out. Where's your fucking huddle today? You bottle job. You absolute bottlers. Disgraceful. I don't give a shit. People can come from a next today. I don't care. This is disgraceful. This is an absolute abomination to every single fan. You've let us down. We've backed you from the very get-go. We've put you on a pedestal, and this is how you want to repay us. And Mikel, don't think you're getting off easy either. We've backed this manager from the very get-go, and the guy can't have the ball. The man gets paid enough money to make a change. You continue to play holding. You continue to play party. You continue to play players. Do you know what's even more disgraceful today? Reece Nelson embarrassed Bukayo Saka within 10 minutes of coming on. Eddie Nketiah embarrassed Martinelli within 10 minutes of coming on. Embarrassed them. Starboy, this is what we call him. When we've needed him, the guy's bottled it, missed the penalty. And today, where was he? I don't care yet if it's a reactionary. I don't care how people want to view this. I am truly fucking devastated. From being one of, our best seasons in 20 years to being our most disappointing season. I don't care. This is not an achievement. This is a goddamn failure. And anyone who wants to sit there and say they're proud of this team, I ain't proud of them. I would be proud if they fought to the end. This is giving it up. This is giving up. This isn't men. This is boys. This is not the lesson you teach your kids. This is the lesson that you teach your kids to learn from. Today wasn't a title decider. Today was a schooling in how to win the title. And that's what tonight was. And I am heartbroken. I'm devastated because this is the team we took on the brunt for. We put our neck on the line for. And this is how you want to go out. This is how you bow out of the league. 4-1. You at least put it into a back three. You're missing your best defender. You go to a back three. You change something. You could see within 20, 30 minutes of that game, something needed to change. You don't back shit performances. We want to win the league. We want to show a mentality change. And guess what we do? We back the same bottlers. Saka needed to come off. Martinelli needed to come off. Jesus needed to come off. And this is all in the first half. Make an example of these players. If they don't want to turn up, you take them off. Simple as. If Reece Nelson did what he did against Man City when it's 3-0 and took the game to them, why couldn't Saka do that? Man's 10 times the player Reece is. But it's desire, it's passion, it's mentality, it's going out there and proving you want to be the best. I got bantered for saying I don't think there's a single world-class player in this team. And today they proved it. Not a single person stepped up. You talk about world-class, you look at De Bruyne. You talk about world-class, you talk about someone like Haaland. Haaland played a different game today. He adapted to the situation. He knew a man was marking him. Guess what he did? He played them. He became the target man. He said, let me play the game. That's what we wanted from Jesus. Today, Haaland showed Jesus what a striker is. I'm disgusted. I don't care. This team does not deserve our support until they support us. And it's over to them to show us why we support them.
Can I just say as well, right? This is after we've thrown away 3 competitions and now we've started playing 1 game a week. We started playing like fucking wankers. Since we've been playing 1 game a week, we have dropped more points than what we have throughout the entire season. It just shows the mentality there, you know? We go out of the Europa League, oh, it doesn't matter. We go out of the FA Cup, oh, it doesn't matter. The League Cup, oh, it doesn't matter. And now the players are like, well, we're not expected to win the league, so it doesn't matter. We'll turn up to Man City and we'll just die. It's ridiculous. It really is. There needs to be a mentality shift.
Terry,
I'm going to come to you in a minute, Avi. Like, Igal, a lot's been said there, but especially by Souls. Not, the players are weak. They don't deserve support. I know you and Brandon obviously had a big clash when he called them a few months ago, like when he called them pussies and said they were weak. Like, do you now agree with what they're both saying, or do you think they're still being a bit too harsh on these young players that have got you into this title race?
I think it comes from the top. Personally, we can look at every single individual, but when you can name more than 4 to 5 players that are not having a good performance, you have to look at Mikel Arteta and say he messed it up. You can call these guys out as much as you want. You can say it's a week underbelly. You can say whatever you want. But they showed it against Bournemouth that they weren't those guys. But now against Man City in these last couple of games, they dropped points. These things happen. Hopefully they can learn from it and we can move on. I get it. Everyone's emotional. Everyone's angry. Everyone's going to point fingers and finger point. But the reality is when you have multiple players having poor performances, multiple individuals having bad displays, you cannot now go and look at each one and say you're the problem. You have to look at the manager and say, yo, you have to fix up. And today, Mikel Arteta got it wrong. And I feel like to look at Rob Holding, look at all these individuals and say, oh, they're the reason why we lost, is probably the wrong thing to do. And to point at their spirit or their thing, let's be honest. If you can see from minute 1, you're getting tactically outclassed, nothing Bukayo Saka, Rob Holding, any of these individuals do is going to change the game. If you say that none of them are world-class, nothing they do changes the game. The person who should change the game is the manager. And I'm trying to be sensible here. I'm not going to be over emotional.
Can I just
know something? You want to know something? I agree with majority of the things that you say on individuals. Yes, they didn't perform to their level, but we cannot now look at them and say, oh, we've known this whole time. We've known that they've all been shit. We've known that they've all been weak. You guys keep throwing out the P word. Keep doing it. I don't really mind, because at this moment in time, you're emotional. You guys are entitled to say whatever you want to say. But from my perspective,
did you see them?
From my perspective,
not even today,
guys.
Games. We're talking 4 games. If it was
my
one
perspective,
game, fair enough.
bro,
4 games.
From my perspective,
may I?
The person who should have
the brunt, let them cook, man. Leave them.
And that is who it is. There's no silver lining. I'm not celebrating anything. First of all, Brendan, nobody's telling these guys they get a pass. But understand, we got outclassed by a team that's better than us. And that's
explain this then. If it's not on the players, right? Explain this to me then. If it's all on the manager. No. Okay, let me ask you the question first, right? They were 2-0 up against West Ham. Who told them to be arrogant? Who told them to showboat? Who told them
You.
to do the flicky passes? Guess what Arteta was telling him? Increase the intensity.
That's why I said stop protecting poor performances.
He wasn't telling him to do. He was telling him to do the opposite.
It's his fault for protecting poor performances, continuing to play Rob Holding, continuing to play Partey in the midfield when we know he's been poor. I've been calling for a change, and it's sheer insanity to play the same team every single week and expect the same result. But for you guys to be throwing it at the players when it's clearly the manager this time, what's the noise? What's going on?
It's V's mic, but Terry V.